Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. My name's Diana Graber, and I'm with CyberWise, where we believe that no grown-up should be left behind when it comes to technology. And this is the first of what we hope will be many online gatherings of industry leaders who are working together to raise a digital parent. And what this means is that we know we've got digital kids going online at increasingly younger ages, and it's impossible for any of us to keep up, let alone protect them for things we're really not that familiar with. So we're going to spend the next half hour talking with some industry experts about strategies that can help us with our digital parenting, because none of us should be expected to do this alone. The three product leaders here tonight, we're actually waiting on one of them because she had some technical difficulties. So I'll go ahead and introduce the other two. But I just want to tell you first that the product leaders we have tonight are all part of what we call our holiday protection package. And this is something we're really excited about, because when you combine these online safety products, you can actually keep kids safe online at every age and stage. And for the holidays, we're offering them either completely free, you can't beat that, or for a deeply discounted price. And you can learn more about that on our website, which is cyberwise.org. So I'd like to take a moment now and just go around the circle as we wait for Brittany. And if you guys could tell us who you are and a little bit about your company, that would be great. We'll start with you, Janelle.
All right. Thank you, Diana. And I'm really excited to be here tonight with the thought leaders that are here in the room, including Brittany, who will be on here in a second. My name is Janelle Patterson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Frenedy.com. Frenedy is Frienedy, by the way. Thank you for the props. We're actually the first private group networking application that's suitable for users of all ages. So it's a social media platform emphasizing privacy. All of the social sharing is done in very private groups, and it is compliant with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, also known as COPPA, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on.
Hello, I'm James Ryan. I'm with Pocket Guardian. Thank you for joining us tonight. Pocket Guardian is the first parental monitoring service which allows parents to actively monitor their child's digital citizenship. We actually analyze text messages and images on social media accounts of the child and alert the parents when cyberbullying or sexting is actually detected. Pocket Guardian believes in the child's privacy, so we don't send all of the child's text messages to the parents. We allow the parents to actually talk with the child if something actually happens. We send resources to the parents that actually let the parent start the communication with the child.
All right, and I see, Brittany, you're the troublemaker, always. You pop back in, and why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and about Kids Email?
First, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes. I'll give you props even.
Okay, thank you. I need it. I need all the props I can get. So my name is Brittany Oler, and I am the marketing director here at Kids Email. I actually run it with my brother-in-law, so he is the founder of Kids Email. We started in 2009 we actually had a safe web browser first. And so Kids Email was started to kind of complement our safe web browser, because we found that people wanted to be able to stay connected with family and friends. And so we thought, why not have a safe platform for them to do that? So it's pretty self-explanatory if you know what email is. Hopefully most of you do. But it's just, we have an awesome safe email that parents love and kids love to keep them safe. So that's us, and I'm here.
Great. Well, welcome, Brittany. And actually, it looks like I don't have any hats on, but I'm wearing two hats tonight, to tell you the truth. And I'm also representing Civics, which is an online, well, it's an in-school digital media literacy program for middle school students. And the reason I'm part of the protection package with Civics is because we believe that one of the best ways for kids to protect themselves is to use the best protection in the world, which they keep up here, their brain. And so Civics is a completely turnkey program of weekly lessons with full support for teachers, and it's available at cybercivics.com. Currently, it's really exciting to report that there's schools in 16 states teaching Civics, which I think is going to go a long way in helping us have kids out there who know how to use digital tools responsibly. So I'm pretty excited about that. But, you know, one thing I've learned is that even though I'm such an advocate for in-school lessons on digital citizenship, I've really come to the realization that that's not enough. especially when kids are going online at increasingly younger and younger ages. And so that's why, I've kind of reached out to everyone you see here in front of you, because we have to do this together. It really does take a village to get it all done. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. But what I'd like to do first is go around the table here, because one thing I really like about the people you see is they're all doing this for passion. And I'd like you each to take a moment to tell your personal story and why you got involved in this industry. And for this one, we'll start with Brittany, because we missed you last time. So why don't you jump in, Brittany?
So, and I kind of jumped the gun on that, my apologies. But so we have been around for a little while. We started, like I said, back in 2009 as I'll just recap, to complement our web browser. And we have a web browser, it's called Nitrous Browser. And what that does is it is a safe web browser for kids. So if they want to surf the web, they can in a safe environment. So my story is my brother-in-law was the brainchild behind it, and the two of us have actually just come together to make it happen, because we both have kids, and we found that it's so important for people to stay connected nowadays, but we wanted to allow them to do that in a safe environment. So that's where we come into play is, you can have kids contacting friends and family and not have to worry about what they're doing. So that's kind of where we come into play. And I see it all the time. I talk to parents all the time that, they just don't know what to do to keep their kids safe. So for us to all work together is just so awesome to me, because we have, we're all trying to do the same thing, and we all have our own individual things, but for us to be able to work together, because we can't I do email, Pocket Guardian does something else, Frenity does something else, and CyberWise is doing something else. So it's just, I don't know, kind of cool at this stage to see great minds come together. So there's my turn.
Well, giving yourself kudos. That's awesome. Okay, so James, I know you have a great personal story as well, and I hope you can share it with us.
Yes, actually. So Pocket Guardian is pretty new ourselves. My co-founder, Jason, and I, almost 2 years ago, we came across a story about a young lady in Nova Scotia who unfortunately, after being cyberbullied, committed suicide. And both Jason and I are parents. We're both fathers. Jason has 2 children. I have 3. So here we were. There's this new danger in the world. Cyberbullying. Kids are being affected by it, but there's no solution. How do we help protect the kids? So both Jason and I have technical backgrounds. So we decided that we needed to look into this. What can we do? So after researching some of the cases for cyberbullying, we found out that parents generally aren't aware that this is happening to the child. So we decided to create something that would alert parents instantaneously, because time is of the essence for these types of incidents. If kids are being bullied, you need to know right away so that you can handle it. We also wanted to protect the child's privacy, so that they didn't feel like the parents were invading their privacy, so that they would talk to their parents. And that's how Pocket Guardian came to be.
I love your product, and thank you for making it, because I think it's something that's much needed out there. And then I just to mention really quickly before I introduce you, Janelle, all these products are available on Frenity.com. And maybe you can tell us your personal story, Janelle, and then tell everyone how they can access the products.
You bet. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Diana. Actually, yeah, Frenity is a fairly new platform. We started back in 2013. We formed as a company and actually launched our web application this year in April, and then our iOS application or our iPhone app in August, and our Android app is on its way in January. But the way I got started was a little bit different. My background is a corporate sales and management background. And about 6 years ago, my daughters were 11 and 7, and my oldest got her first iPhone with the intent that it would be there so that if she needed to text her dad or me to come and pick her up from practice, that we would be able to go and do that. What we didn't think of 6 years ago was that chemical reaction that happens when you put a smartphone in a child's hands, which is automatically what comes out of their mouth is, can I have Facebook? Can I have Instagram? Can I have Twitter? And what ended up happening in my case was that she did ultimately download Instagram, my oldest, and attracted a follower that really terrified her and then ultimately terrified me. But then when I really started looking into it, you've got an 11-year-old girl using Instagram. I didn't really know a lot about social media. I was one of those parents that thought, oh, you know what, if I ignore it, it'll go away. She knows how to use her cell phone, so surely she knows how to use this. Although I had said, no Facebook, no Twitter, I knew there was danger out there. I just didn't know how easy it was for that danger to find her. So ultimately, after that happened, I started thinking and doing a lot of research on what's going on out there, how many kids are online, how much time are they spending, what are they doing, what are some of the cases like James was looking at. I found all sorts of cyberbullying cases and cyber predator, horrible stories out there, and started thinking there's got to be a way where there's a safe private platform for parents to introduce their kids to social media on their terms. So I worked together with a team of people that I assembled just based on people that I knew, and ultimately it took us a couple of years to get it put together and pulled across the finish line, but we did it. So, and then as far as the holiday protection package, we decided that it would make a lot of sense because, as Brittany said too, we love working together because we all have these respective areas of expertise. And I can't tell you how many times I've had the opportunity to stand up in front of a parent group, and I don't do email, so I can talk about kids' email. And I always have parents say, well, how do we keep our kids safe from cyberbullying or sexting? And I talk about Pocket Guardian. So everything that the four of us do is so complementary, which is why we decided to come together and offer this package. And in Frenity, if anybody out there doesn't have a Frenity account yet, you can go to Frenity.com, which is FRIENEDY.com, sign up, and then once you're in, go into the search bar and type in protection package. And we'll pop up, and all you have to do is hit follow wish list. And then you can see all of these products in there that you can get here for free or highly reduced prices based on the promotion that we're running. And I'll type that into the message bar too, so everybody has those as well.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Janelle. It's pretty cool because I just started using Frenity because of this promotion, and I've kind of become addicted to it. It's really easy to use, and I wish that all my kids' teams and all their things they belong to would be in Frenity because it would make life so much easier and safer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So just really quick, my personal story is also to be blamed to my children. Janelle lost. Come back, Janelle. Anyway, when my oldest, it says your poor internet signal. For some reason, we lost your video feed.
Oh, okay. I'll go out and I'll come back in.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries. I'll just keep going as you're coming back in. But anyway, when my oldest daughter was in 8th grade, there was a digital media incident at her school, and her brand new administrator spent a whole week dealing with kids coming in and out of the office in tears. And it was one of those kind of silly things. It wasn't even cyberbullying. It was really digital drama where a girl posted something unflattering about another girl. And the long and short of it is it just turned into a lot of time suck for the administrator. And so I had just completed a master's program in something called media psychology and social change. And I was also a mom, and I observed this incident. I said, oh, that's so interesting. And I went to the administrator and said, hey, would you mind if I started teaching digital literacy in school, and maybe we could avoid having these issues in the future? And he said, can you start tomorrow? So that was 6 years ago. And since that time, we've built it into a 3-year in-school program called Civics. We spend the whole first year talking about digital citizenship, which is this respectful use of digital tools. And we realize there's so much more to digital citizenship. There's information literacy, which is our whole second year. And that's learning about things like how to search properly and copyright and plagiarism and fair use and all that good stuff. And then we also expanded it into a 3rd year, which is media literacy, which is taking a critical look at digital media messages. So it's a pretty comprehensive program. And what's really cool for me is, number one, the school that we started it at and schools that are now teaching it have noticed that their digital problems have virtually gone away because the kids are dealing with it with themselves. They're avoiding these problems, and if problems do pop up, they have strategies now on how to deal with them. And then secondly, it's middle school, and middle school, you're all about the test scores, right? And so a lot of people said, hey, you're crazy to take an hour of curriculum time away to teach this digital literacy thing. And what happened was at our test school, our test scores actually rose the first 3 years of the program, not just a little bit, but a lot. In fact, we had the highest point gain in the district. And a lot of people said it was because we're teaching critical thinking. When you teach that, kids get smarter. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, what I'd like to do now, and I see we lost Janelle again. Janelle, maybe you can just pop back in. But what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go around the circle again, or the square, I guess is what you'd call it. And I'd like everyone to just give me the three top reasons that parents like your product. And for this one, I'm going to start with you, James.
Okay, thank you. Top 3 reasons why parents should use Pocket Guardian. First one being we care about the child's privacy. So we're not going to send every single text message and image to the parent. We're only going to alert the parent if something is detected. Number 2, we actually, we're automated. So instead of a parent having to read through 1,000 text messages or hundreds of images, which these, kids today can send that many, sometimes in a day, they don't have to do that with Pocket Guardian. We're automated so that we'll alert you immediately if we detect something. And the third reason is we also send resources to the parent. So we don't just send you an alert and say your child sent or received a cyberbullying or sexting message and leave it to you to just go talk to your child. We send resources, some of which come from CyberWise, which actually help you to start the conversation with your child so that you're not just going to your child with an emotional response.
That's great. Thank you, James. And Brittany, maybe you could tell me the top 3 reasons parents love kids email.
I can do that for you. So I would say the top 3 are, the first one is, as I'm moving squares, the first one is staying safe while being connected to family and friends. That's probably the biggest thing for us. Number 2 would be that parents don't want their kids to see spam messages or ads, especially those that are inappropriate. So that would be another huge reason why parents love kids email. And then the last one, which we've touched on through all of us, and we can all relate, is to protect our kids from strangers. The beauty is that we can, with our product, pick and choose who we want our kids to contact or to contact them. And that's been huge for parents, having a safe mind, knowing that nothing's bad going to happen to their kids. So that's me.
That's great, Brittany. Thank you. And I see we've lost you again, Janelle, but I think we have audio. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why that's happening. I seem to have crazy computer problems here lately.
Thought I had technology if we didn't have problems.
Well, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. And if you could do me a favor and tell us the 3 top reasons parents love Friendly.
Yeah, I will be happy to do that. Probably the first thing is that it's a great training ground. So it's a good social media training ground, which is, it actually provides parents a way to introduce kids to social media on their terms when they think time. So it's compliant with COPPA. So there's not another social media application out there that is compliant with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So parents like the idea that they can set their child for a Friendly account, and much like Pocket Guardian, they can oversee and they can guide that experience. So it's a catalyst for conversation. If I set up my child who's 10 years old or 12 years old, I, by virtue of the way it's designed, can see everything that they do, but I can't participate in it. So if I see something that they're doing well, I can coach them and give some positive reinforcement. If I see some things that I don't think it's comment being made on a photo or a conversation in the chat room, or whatever the case may be, then I can have the conversation to help them learn how they should be acting before they become unleashed on public social media. And so it's that training ground that they love. The other thing is just the privacy of it, because parents not only want a safe place for kids to learn and where they can make a mistake that's not going to haunt them on Google someday down the road, but also like to post especially for those of us, I'm one of them that has family across the miles. Instead of posting lots and lots of photos when I'm on vacation or, posting to my public friend sphere, if you will, I can have private groups where I can post information that only people in those groups see. And then lastly, the other thing that parents love the most, I would say, is the wish list. I get a lot of feedback on the wish list because I know there might be a lot of parents out there like me, who when it comes time for the holidays or birthday, all year, I want about 95 million times. And then, darn it, when that holiday comes around, you say, well, what would you like for Christmas or whatever? And you get, I don't know. So now with Friendly's wish list, they can add and collect items that they want all year long so that grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and parents don't have to worry anymore what they want. They can just go out to the wish list and complete the purchase right there. So I would say those are the three things that I get the most feedback on that are the best features of Friendly from a parent standpoint.
And we're having a lot of fun with the wish list this holiday season. We're actually doing a whole promotion on CyberWise called Digital Wishes, where we're asking people to share their digital wish for making the internet safer and kinder. And it's kind of just a play on their whole wish list idea that we have on Friendly right now. And I forgot what the question was. Oh, 3 reasons parents love CyberCivics. And actually, my audience is teachers. And I can answer that because last year I did a survey of the teachers to ask what they loved about CyberCivics. And the number one thing is they liked its ease of use because they can just go online, download a lesson, 15 minutes of prep time, and they can confidently teach a CyberCivics lesson. So that was the number one thing. The number 2 thing is it kept problems out of the administrator's office. And that's a time saver and it's a money saver for schools too, because administrative time is expensive. And number 3 is the teachers are learning just as much as the kids, because as they teach these lessons, they're really not teaching, they're moderating these lessons. So the teachers learn that the most important digital skills are social and behavioral skills, and that's something that we're always going to know more than our kids. So it gives teachers the confidence to be great digital literacy educators. So, and I see that we've got Finity back in. Welcome back, Janelle. You're just in time. Okay, this is like the $1 million round where we start asking the really hard questions. So Brittany, I'm going to start with you. And this is a question we get a lot at CyberWise. What is the right age for a child to open his or her first email account?
I get asked the same question. Imagine that. So, I don't know that there's a right age. I'll be completely honest with you. However, most of our users come between the ages of 5, which is surprisingly young, to the ages of 13. So we have just found that if you have parents or you have friends or you have family, that they want to stay connected, and kids are starting younger and younger wanting to be able to do that. So I don't ever pinpoint an exact age. I just think when your child's ready, if they want to start learning how to type and they want to start connecting with family and friends, I think it's an awesome way to start introducing them into technology in a safe way. So sorry, I don't have an exact number, but there's your range, 5 to 13. You can choose.
Yeah. It's funny, Brittany, when I teach CyberCivics, I'm always surprised at how kids do not know how to compose a proper email. And I think that's so crazy because, the world of work and really applying to college and talking to counselors and teachers in high school, it's still, those skills are super important still. And so I think Kids Email is such a great way to teach kids how to be a good composer of an email. So what's your thought on that?
You know what? Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Because a lot of people are like, email is kind of obsolete. Well, yeah, we do have a lot of ways to connect nowadays. There's all sorts of platforms. But in the business environment, how do we all communicate? We all communicate via email. You're sending forms via email. So we run into the same issue. There's a lot of kids that have no clue that that's actually a real thing, that when you're working, that's good knowledge to have. So you keep educating them and I'll keep providing the secrets.
Okay. All right. It's a deal. Okay. So I see Janelle, you're still there. I can see you and I hope you can hear me. And I think your audio is actually breaking up a little bit too.
Shoot.
Yeah, but I'm going to try this question anyway, and I'll let you know if it's breaking up. But,
okay.
So many kids are on social media before the age, which is normally 13 on most of these sites, in order to communicate with their social groups. So how does Friendity play into this? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's really why we exist. There was a study, and is the audio okay on this, by the way, Diane?
Great. Yeah. Okay.
So there was a study I ran across some time ago where it said that around 59%, or at least in this study, it said about 59% of kids have already used social media to some degree by the time they're 10. And when you look at the fact that the law says they have to be 13, there's just a lot of kids out there that they're using it, just like Brittany said. It doesn't matter what we say. If we say you have to be 13, they're going to find a way. They're going to use it anyhow. And as parents, it's on us. We have to be in that driver's seat. We have to be the ones that teach them about social media. We have to be the ones that introduce them to social media, teach them how to be kind online, teach them about strangers, teach them about the importance of building a very positive public social media platform. And what happens is if we don't, then they're left to their own devices. They write their own rules. And, if you think about this from a parent standpoint, you wouldn't go to a movie theater and drop your 8 or 10-year-old off and allow them to walk into a rated R movie by themselves. You also wouldn't drop them off at a crowded mall or a crowded park full of strangers by themselves. What happens is, we think that just because, like I did, just because they're technically proficient on their phones, that they are also proficient on social media, and that's just simply not the case. We run the risk of the wrong followers finding them. We run the risk of the wrong people finding them. And we also run the risk that they're going to make mistakes that haunt them down the road. If they write their own rules and if they follow rules that others create, they start making a lot of noise online, like, my stomach's growling, I'm hungry, I have 2 hours yet till lunch, or I'm bored in chemistry, or I can't stand this teacher, versus learning how to use it for the reason that social media was created, which is to connect with people with similar interests. So the kids are out there. They're out there way earlier than what the law says, which is 13. And it's on us as parents to teach them how to do it the right way so that they don't get into trouble.
Exactly. Thank you, Janelle. And I think the hardest question I have for you, James, and you sent us a really interesting list lately, or just recently, based on your experience and research of what kids type online versus what they really mean. And it was kind of their secret lingo. And I was hoping that you could share some of that secret language with us.
Sure. Most parents think that they know what kids are saying online, and hey, I'm looking over my child's shoulder and I see what's on the screen. But online language is changing drastically. Is that because of Twitter and children having to come up with, shortened terms for longer phrases? I don't know. But most parents have no idea what kids are saying online. For instance, PAW, parents are watching. POS, parents over shoulder. Those are some examples of shortened messages that most parents don't know anything about. Most parents are limited to LOL and BRB. Some text messages that you might be unaware of, some of the shortened acronyms, LMIRL, let's meet in real life. Let's see, we also have ASL, age, sex, location. Those are an example of two text messages that kids send or sent that you should probably be aware of. I mean, if someone is sending you LMIRL, then typically the child has never met that person and has no idea who they are. And if you see that, you should probably ask your child, who is this? How did you come about being connected with them?
Right. And James, is that the sort of language that Pocket Guardian will detect?
Yes. So Pocket Guardian is being taught all of the new lingo and slang and shortened terms that children are using these days. And even if we miss something one day, we're actually constantly teaching our software to learn it the next day.
Great, thank you. What you do is so important. It's crazy to me that you guys had to do it, honestly. I hope I'm not insulting anybody that has a social media network that might be watching, but I just don't get why this isn't built in already to these social media networks that kids are using. It just seems like such a no-brainer.
Yeah, we actually were surprised, my co-founder and I, when we did our research, that there wasn't really anything, that there's nothing like Pocket Guardian that detects cyberbullying and sexting. So you do have solutions that show you every text message, show you every image, but there's nothing out there that is specifically, hey, is this cyberbullying? Is this sexting? Let's detect it. And nothing makes the parents aware instantaneously.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I want to be really respectful for the time that people expected. We said it would go half an hour, but before we go, I do want to just go around the table one more time and say if you have any last thoughts or maybe answer a question that you guys get a lot personally. Brittany, do you have anything that you'd like to say to close up?
There was one question that came up, and I just wanted to answer it real quick. Is somebody had asked that their sister was in the military overseas, and they wanted to send photos, but were worried about the cybersecurity and just wanted to know the security. So I just wanted to answer that real quick. That's something huge with us, is the privacy and security of children, especially, is huge. So with Kids Email, we would say that's very important. And then on any other note, I just want to say to all of you, kudos and thank you so much for being a part of this. I love seeing some familiar faces on here, people I've connected with online. I see Denise on there. It's just so cool for us like-minded to get together, and I really hope we make some change. So kudos to all of you that are here, and to you that we're working with. That's my 2 cents.
I'm going to give you kudos because that's a great closing. Thank you. Do you have any last words, James?
We just like to tell parents, talk to your children. Don't just hand over a device with no instructions. Sit down. Try to tell them the proper ways to use technology so that they become great digital citizens.
That's perfect. Thank you. And Janelle, you're back. Yay.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you could, we're just going around and seeing if you could share some last words with us on closing.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and participating. We've had some really great questions. Really appreciate everybody being here. And it sounds like Blab has had some technical difficulties tonight, so I don't think it's all of us. And I just wanted to thank everybody for kind of putting up with that and bearing with us. But I love being able to come together as a community. And I love the idea that really all of the products and companies represented in this Blab tonight really kind of take parents from really birth to age in terms of keeping their kids safe and being able to help them build a positive social media presence online, whether it's the entry into social media through email, whether it's in middle school learning how to behave online and what digital citizenship is and the importance of being a positive digital citizen, or whether it's that first entrance into social media and learning how to value your privacy through Frenity, or whether it's just keeping your kids safe through all of the devices that they've got and being able to detect cyberbullying and sexting and intercept before something horrible happens, like what Pocket Guardian does. I think that it's just a great complement of products all around, and I'm excited to be able to share this space with you guys tonight to talk about that and the benefit it brings to families everywhere.
Thanks, Janelle. And, I'm just watching these questions come on the right-hand side here, and we won't have time to address them all. But I just want to encourage anyone who happens to be logged in. Everyone here is really nice. So if you contact any of us directly, we'd be more than happy to contact you back and let you know, answer your questions or give you anything you need. And I really encourage you to go to each of our websites. And if you want to know more about the wish list on Frenity, we have it on our website on cyberwise.org. So please feel free to reach out, check in, and let's work together to raise digital parents and digital kids. So it takes a village. And I'd like to thank my village here tonight. And it's so nice to see your faces. And thanks for joining us. And we really hope to do this again. So
thank you.
That's it. Over and out from the Brady Bunch.
Bye.
Right, everyone have a great night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good
Bye-bye. Thank you.